Hello Galactic family. Dear ones, we see many still experiencing confusion regarding the conditions of the world. Know that what you are witnessing in these turbulent times is the presentation of old energies, long suppressed and hidden, being exposed to be observed, evaluated and processed. Never be afraid to look deep into any appearance, hiding or pretending not to notice, but to realize what is the material meaning of a spiritual universe, images formed from the beliefs of duality and separation, impersonal and without spiritual law holds it in the place. Never deny or fear the emotions that may arise, but realize that today is a new time when you are not the same you, the same from a year ago, having reached a level of consciousness now able to reinterpret world appearances and recognize the always present hidden spiritual reality. The tendency for most is to become part of the current common consciousness, because being part of a group allows the individual to feel accepted and there is a feeling of love being part of a group. Most of you are now able to see and act out of the common consciousness, and this is how the world will change and gradually dissolve the appearances that reflect duality/separation. This is the job. We wish to speak again about love because love is the basis of all things which, when understood and practiced in its truest sense, flowed through all aspects of daily life, no matter how seemingly common. Once love becomes your state of consciousness attained, you begin to automatically perceive the world and all that is in it from a whole new perspective, thus allowing many previously accepted concepts and beliefs to fall. Love is oneness and thus the connecting link between all things, human beings, plants, animals, nature spirits, elementals, etc. Even rocks are aware of what they are. There is nothing that has not been made from one and only substance, divine consciousness. Spiritual ideas within a divine consciousness are interpreted according to an individual's state of consciousness. If this consciousness has strong beliefs in duality and separation, this is how its outer world will manifest itself, but it will never change the reality of the divine idea. As consciousness evolves, interpretations evolve. Horse and cart used to represent the idea of divine omnipresence, but now there are planes, high-tech automobiles and much better modes of transportation that will continue to evolve. The people of the stars have interpretations of omnipresence modes of transport far beyond what the human mind can conceive at this point in its evolution. As you come to understand the truth of the one manifesting as many, you must also come to understand and accept that, therefore, there can be only one power. God is the only power. In order to attain and begin to practice the consciousness of the one power, an individual must first examine his concepts about God. God is a word that represents the idea of a totality of all that is, but whatever word you choose will suffice because the finite human mind simply cannot comprehend what is infinite. He, God, universe, or as you wish to call, he can only be experienced. The human mind is able to understand some of the attributes of the divine, qualities forever held in place by divine law and expressed externally as peace, joy, wholeness, abundance, harmony, and so on. These constitute the essence of sustained self, which contains something, and since then there is only one of the something, and everything that it incorporates has to be the only reality. Humanity, unconscious of truth and experiencing a world of duality and separation, over many lifetimes, has come to accept a power for good or for evil, taking into account any and all external appearances. It is time to move into the consciousness of the one power. Only God is power must become the inner response to every situation, be it physical, emotional or mental. the divine and all its facets must come to be seen and accepted as reality and, therefore, the only power. Where is that power? It is my own self-cloak, the self that I really am, the self that formed and maintains this body that I use. The self that beats the heart and draws to me what I need when I need it. The I that I am is manifested as guidance and comforts me in the conflicts because it is complete and entire, not needing anything. Only God is power. You are now ready to live, move, and have your being in a consciousness that knows that every quality of divine consciousness is also embodied within each individual expression of that divine consciousness. It is the I am. This is what the Master Jesus meant when he said, I can do nothing of myself or greater works than these you will do. He never intended to be the only child of God, but an ignorant world that sought power outside himself declared that Jesus was the only child of God. Only God is power. Let this become the mantra with which you find all the experiences throughout the day and attain consciousness of when power is a consciousness of healing, for it recognizes no power in sickness. He is the peacemaker, because he knows only the one who appears as many. Those who have attained the consciousness of one power are able to allow the world around them to collapse into the realization that it can never touch reality. Start practicing the only God is power in each seemingly small event of daily life. You have a sore knee, bring to mind the fact that God could not express himself as pain, for that would be duality within that which is infinitely complete and whole. Pain in all its forms reflects an impersonal belief in a self separate from God. Only God is power, so take all the human steps that you can be guided to take. Your realization of God as the only power opens the door for divine completeness to manifest as the best possible solution for you. The process of withdrawing power from all appearances, no matter how terrifying it is a necessary step in everyone's evolutionary journey, but now you are ready. There will always be difficulties living in a world that still holds a three-dimensional belief system, but now you have the tools. You are at a higher level. Disasters happen to evolved individuals because 1. They are a chosen part of the person's life plan to help awaken others, or 2. To realize a deeper manifestation of some truth necessary for your own spiritual growth. The evolved souls do not live lives of random events formed from the energies of duality and separation, such as have not yet awakened, but must learn to seek out hidden truths in difficult life events. It is where there is a point of choice in each journey of the spiritual seekers when they realize that they cannot worship both God and man. Free will allows everyone to take whatever time they want, but most of you are recognizing that it is time for you to come into your truth. A time to move away from assigning power to three-dimensional concepts, be they personal or global, and regardless of whether they look good or bad. Realize that good appearances are as illusory as evil and that only God is power. Those who stay connected to technology in all its forms 24h a day, 7 days a week, or never take time to be silent, simply do not hear the voice still small inside and therefore continue to deny and reject the idea of be a small voice. Those around you will not know exactly what has changed, but will note that you have become quieter, more focused and less reactive. At this point, you will probably find others who come to you for advice, attracted by your peace energy, which is what they seek. This is when spiritual work begins and you become light worker in all activities of work, play, relationships, duties, etc. Many so-called religious teachings taught that the common world was not spiritual and should be left behind if one intended to become holy. Thus were born the monasteries and convents of all religions. There was a time when these places were the only places where peace, solitude, and spiritual pursuit could happen without struggle, but because everyone occupied their state of consciousness in this way, many convents and monasteries were converted into places of dogma, structure, rules and misinformation. However, many of today's convents and monasteries are serving to provide a flow of light and love to the world through the evolved consciousness of the members who understand and practice deeper levels of truth. It is a new day and a new time, and the spiritual life is to be lived in the world, but not from it. Life on earth must no longer be separated in the profane versus the spiritual, for this is the ancient false and deceptive energy of the past. There is only one. A power, a reality, a law, a cause, an effect, and this one is you. We are the Arcturian group,